everyone, my name's Austin and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another mini reviews video. If you're not familiar with that, it's probably because I've only done one of them. So, it's my second one, if you can gain that from the context, but here I am being awkward again in front of the camera. I need to get back in the routine of doing this because every time I do this, I get really camera shy. So I do like a million different takes before I can actually get this going, but So I think March and April was a pretty good reading month for me. Like I didn't have that many bad reads, if not, maybe just like one of them was bad read and the rest of them were great. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that. I'm not like upset with it. Like, no, like today I'm gonna be covering 5 books. Why do I say it like I don't know if that's the right answer? Because I know that's the right answer. It's 5 books. Needless to say, spoilers I guess, it was a pretty good reading month for me. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I hope it continues, because if it doesn't, I might go insane, and I don't want to go into another reading slump, because I don't need that energy right now. We're gonna have a great summer, and we're gonna read a lot. That's what we're gonna do. So no worries at all. So, let's just get started before I keep rambling and making a fool of myself, because it's already happening. So the first book I want to talk about today is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. This is the second and final book in the Strange the Dreamer duology, if you couldn't gain that from duology. But yeah, it's unfortunately the last book, and maybe there's gonna be more. I hope there's more, I really do, because I miss my babies. This book, I can't really explain much about it without spoiling a lot of it, but mainly it follows Laszlo Strange, who has been studying this town called Wheat for a good portion of his life, if not all of it, and he gets the opportunity to go to that city, and that's just about really bad. It makes it sound like it's not interesting, but it really is. You have to give it a try. The prose is very lyrical, it's poetic, it's the prose it's nice to read. That's what it means. I can't speak. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I am not disappointed at all. Only thing I'm disappointed in is it ending, because I don't want it to end. If I haven't made that point clear already. It's such a beautiful and brilliant narrative, and I loved everything about it. I really want to go into specifics, but I really can't without spoiling this book. But just, you get the gist that I liked it, right? The only con I had about it is that there's a lot going on here, like a lot, over a short span of time, like a really short span, like really short. It can be overwhelming, but I guess I got used to it by reading the first book, because that one was overwhelming too a little bit. But I liked it regardless. So yeah, 5 stars for me. There better be a next book. If you read this, you know there has to be. The next book I have to show you is a book that I read for my New York class. We had to read it for an assignment, and then at the very end of the semester we had to make a multimedia project incorporating this book. And the book I chose was Love is a Higher Law by David Levithan. I read Every Day by David Levithan. I liked it. I know it's kind of controversial right now. Honestly, if I went back and read it, I don't know if I would like it or not, but I don't want to. So this book is really short. It's like 50 pages. I read it within a day. I was actually really surprised that I liked it. I should probably explain what it's about, right? So it follows 3 people, Claire, Jasper, and Peter, on the day of the 9/11 attacks, and we see basically how they react to the event. It's obviously very traumatic, but that's why I was iffy about reading it, because I don't like thinking about them, like the attacks. It's just I can't really comprehend them, because mainly I wasn't old enough to grow up and like be able to comprehend the attacks, because I was in kindergarten. So I really don't remember that day. It just makes me kind of uncomfortable. It's important. It really is important. And it's, especially if you're someone like me who maybe you weren't even born yet, or maybe you're my age and you just didn't remember it. This is really essential to read. It goes into explicit detail of the events. It doesn't really linger too much on them. It kind of is, I hate to say it, but is more of a background thing that happens, and it's more focused on how the people react to the event. Needless to say, I enjoyed it. It made me experience grief, and then it made me experience solace, and I was really surprised I was able to do all of that within 150 pages. The only thing that I found issues with is that since it is kind of short, the characters, there's 3 characters that we follow, and they kind of blend together at times. So yeah, that was the only really issue. I can't really, I'm like, since it covers such a sensitive and like really important topic, I don't want to be like, it was trash. But like, I mean, it wasn't. So from what it's worth and the little that you get, and honestly, I don't think it needs to be any longer. I wouldn't be able to like take it if it was any longer than that. It made me cry, and I'm like, no, like I don't want to keep crying for longer. So yeah, but I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I have to show you is something that I probably should have read like a long time ago, but I just didn't because I suck. I literally just suck. A lot of you were just saying to read it, and so I got it, and then I bought it, and then I just left it on my shelf for a good 2 months like we always do, and finally decided, oh, maybe I should pick this up because I heard great things about it, and I'm glad I did. And that book is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I read a lot of his books back in high school, like The Unwind Dystology, which used to be just a single dystopian, which I'm glad he expanded, but like, I didn't like it that much, and near the end, it kind of just got like, to me. And then I read his like kind of middle grade novel, like Everwild. It was a trilogy. I really liked that too. So I was not surprised that I liked it. Like, his writing is great. He has written so many novels. What? So obviously he's had room to improve, and that it shows. It really does. It's brilliant. It's just such a complex plot that there's so much room for so many plot holes, and yet he still answers them effortlessly. And with beautiful prose, and I didn't even explain what this book. I suck at doing that. But basically, it follows a boy named Rowan and a girl named Citra, and they are chosen to be Scythe's apprentice, which is a year-long apprenticeship. They go about doing all this training with a real Scythe, and then go through multiple tests. And at the very end, they have a big test, and if they pass it within their like small group, I think only a certain amount passes anyway, then they become a Scythe, and the rest of them kind of just go back to their ordinary lives. Also, death is no longer a thing. That's kind of important to know, because that's why the Scythes are here, is that you can't really die, because they've somehow cured death, and these babies are here to make sure the population stays in control. People can also like rewind themselves and look more youthful. Like, I really wish we could do that here. That'd be nice. But like, also, like, I wouldn't trust anyone around me, because you never know who that person could be. Like 200 years old and they look like they're 20. Predator. But yeah, this book was so much fun to read. I could not put it down. I would just go to work and I'm like, I need to go home and finish this book because it's important. And there are so many plot twists in this, and like, you think it's just one way, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's not even a predictable plot twist. It's just, I'm like, and then one happens, you're like, well, that's a huge plot twist, okay. And then another one happens, you're like, wait, what? And it just keeps doing, like, it's, that made no sense, but I think you understand what I was trying to say, so I'm not going to reiterate. There were just certain times, like, I don't know, I think it's just with his writing, like, it's hard for me to develop genuine emotions toward these characters sometimes. Like, I mean, like, it's not impossible because I did. There's just some type of disconnect with them at certain points, and some of the romance kind of just felt, to me, but, like, honestly, like, those are such minute things to me that I'm like, whatever. I gave this book 5 stars regardless because it was incredible. I'm so glad I read it. The next 2 books I'm going to discuss were e-arcs that were sent to me via NetGalley or Edelweiss. I just found out that's pronounced Edelweiss, not Edelweiss, which I was pronouncing like that. Well, it's Edelweiss. Cool. Good to know. I was sent these by the publisher in exchange for an honest review, so that's what I'm going to give you. Yeah. So the next book I'm going to be talking about is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This book follows a girl named Shane. She's 20 years old. And she somehow finesses her way into, she's a pre-med major, but she finesses her way into going to study abroad in London for an English, like a creative writing program. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how her parents were that dense. She doesn't have any friends in high school, so she thinks this is a perfect opportunity to make new friends and build stuff there, maybe find true love. And that's that. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be biased about this because like that just like invalidates my actual opinions if I'm biased about something that like I know that another booktuber did, and I'm really proud of her that she did that. Like it's not easy to write a book, and I watched her videos throughout the entire thing, and she was working really hard on it. So it's not like it was put together shittily and stuff like that. All I'm just saying is that like You know, I'm gonna start with the good parts for a second. It was a cute narrative. It was cute little contemporary. It was unique. There's just magical realism elements in it that are interesting. And there's some fun moments that I liked in there. But to be honest with you, I think the bad outweighed the good, which is kind of sad. I think just in general, this book was too juvenile for new adult. One, even that, like when it was published, it was selected by the Barnes & Noble YA Club when it's new adult. What? I'm like, I was just so confused. I'm like, Shane is 20, so therefore it's new adult. And new adult doesn't have to be just smut. It means that it's people 20 and above, typically, or 19. I think it's 19, I don't know. In college, typically, that's new adult. And so, I don't know. But it was really, really juvenile. Like, there was just, the thing that came up a lot that really bugged me was the phrase, what the fudge? She would say this a lot, but then she would actually verbally cuss, but then she wouldn't say, she'd say, what the fudge? I'm like, it made no sense. And like, I hate that phrase to begin with. When people say that, maybe I'm just so used to having a sailor's mouth that I like when I hear that, you know, substitute, I'm like, what? The romance, it felt really forced. First of all, she's going after this guy who already has a girlfriend. When it comes out that he has a girlfriend, she persists. That's just not a really good message to convey. But granted, it is a new adult, so I feel like people who are in that age group know better. But still, people who are going to be reading it are people in the YA community because they know Christine. So I was just, not a great message to put out there for them, because it just, and like, she isn't reprimanded for that. There's no instance in the book where it says that this is bad and that she shouldn't do this. Also, the character names, you have Shane, you have Pilot Pen, like the pen's named Pilot. You know those pens? Because I was like, what? And then there's Babe. It just didn't seem like real names. Shane was the only like real name, I feel like. And see, like, the thing is, I don't want people to take this as like another, that I'm bashing the book, because I don't think it's a bad book. I just don't think it's for me. I don't think it's categorized in the right age group. I think it needs to be a little bit younger. I just don't want it to be seen as like a Zenith thing where like I'm posting a negative review because I want more followers. Like, no, I didn't like the book. I don't think it's a bad book at all. It's just not for me. I don't think certain things in there were executed well. It doesn't mean that she's a bad person either, or that she's a terrible writer. It just wasn't for me. That's that on that. So the final book that I have to talk about today is one that is one of my all-time favorites of this year, and I was really anticipating it, and it didn't let me down. I'm so happy about it, and that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. They are an MB author. This book follows a non-binary teen named Ben. They just recently came out to their parents, and their parents kicked them out. Cool. Great. Quality. So they seek the help of their sister, and basically gonna just go out through the rest of their senior year over at their sister's at a different school, where they meet this boy named Nathan, and then things just ensue. It's cute. I loved everything about this book. I typically don't like colloquial contemporary, like usually when I read stuff like that, like it kind of just removes me from it a little bit because I don't really relate, and I don't like to think, like I don't like to read in the exact way that they think or like speak. It's just that's the personal preference for me. This is an exception, and it really wasn't that colloquial. I've never felt so represented in a book before. It was amazing. I relate to Ben in a lot of ways, mainly just in a later sense, because I just recently am discovering that I am genderqueer, non-binary. So like seeing that they're going through this at such a young age and how brave they are and strong they are was really inspiring. And the romance between Nathan and Ben, I want that so bad. It was so cute. Nathan is just so supportive, such a gentle and kind heart. This book was just, there's nothing, I could not find anything that's wrong with it. It was just so good. And you have to pick it up. You will not be disappointed. It's like, there are some like dark moments, but really it makes you feel really warm inside and like really, I don't know, it's so cute, and I loved it so much, and it's one of my all-time favorite YA contemporaries right now. and it probably will be for a long time. I mean, it's never not going to be. So what am I even trying to say? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, that's it. I don't know what that was. But that's all I have to say. That's all I have to talk about today. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble about fictional stories and make-believe. So that's what we do. Well, that's our lives. Where am I going with this? I don't know. You know what? It's time to end the video. That's what it. Yep. Alrighty. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.